Welcome. This is the early demo of a text-to-speech and audio generation content management app. This is the main page. You have templates that you can choose from and create your own. It populates some section cards which can have various voices belonging to various speech engines. You can view and edit the details of each section card, whether it's a text-to-speech card type or an audio-only card type for you to upload and insert your own sound effects. You can save the section list as a template for later use. You can also refresh the page and manually create your own list. We can add section cards manually. We can choose different voices, different settings for the voices, insert our own audio or sound effects.
We give the final file a title, Generate Audio. We'll generate a text-to-speech audio for each text-to-speech section. Afterwards, we will merge the files. But first, let's see how the text-to-speech generation sounds.
This is a test.
This is a test.
Sounds good. Let's merge them together. Merge complete. Let's listen to the whole thing.
This is a test.
This is also a test.
Wonderful. That is the core functionality. There will be more revisions to the user experience in future. Let's take a look at the rest of the app. We have a Templates tab where we can create and edit templates for reuse. We have a File History tab. As you can see, because we had the Other Save checkbox, the merged audios were automatically saved to the storage server or service.
This is a test.
This is also a test.
There are a few options for each saved audio. We can convert it to a template, download the configuration, load it into the main page, play save or delete the file. There's also a generated audio history list for the individual section card components if necessary. There is also an audio library page to track sound effects, music, and other miscellaneous uploaded audios.
We can modify some of the settings for these audios, along with their placeholder, which will allow us to provide the program text input with placeholders to automatically insert a sound effect within the speech generation. For instance, if we put magic wink, pop, or bubbling into the text inputs, you will hear that sound effect immediately after the preceding text. We also have a Tools tab, which is currently more of a concept design at the moment. But here we would provide the user with various tools, features, and services to help organize, format, or brainstorm their text inputs if necessary. Right now, we have a tool to extract text from an HTML document or a URL, as well as some basic AI transformation chat prompts we can make if the API is configured in settings.
We also have the settings page. We can alternate between the demo and production modes. The demo mode primarily consisting of the development environment, leveraging built-in local tools and services to manage the data and text-to-speech generation, rather than needing to set up accounts for other services or pay for APIs. Beyond demo mode, we have production, where it allows you to add in more speech engine voices. The active voices list are the list of voices that can be chosen throughout the program to generate a text-to-speech audio. As you can see, there are various speech engines, but more engines can be added later if necessary. You can even specify a default voice for the program to remember.
The program comes with some built-in voices based off of the service voice IDs. We can even add our own voices if the list does not have the voice we're looking for. Adding these to the active voice list will enable us to choose that voice in future on the main tab of the app. As you can see, there's also an option to add API keys for any particular voice service. You can see I have a number of 11 Labs API keys. Just in case one fails or runs out of tokens, the app should automatically move on to the next API key in the list. For developers, you can upload a JSON with all the speech engine API keys if you wish. And of course, you can set up the AI provider settings that would be relevant on the tools page. Now let's just quickly circle back to the templates tab here. You can see that you can edit an existing template. We can also create our own new template. We can create some of our own section cards and specify the voices we want to use for each section. We can put in the text that each section should use, and we can also specify the audio section card type for specific sound effects and audios.
Upon saving the template, we can reload it on the main page. If we want to auto-save it during the generation process, we have that option. But for now, let's conclude this preview.
The plan is to resume enhancing the program so that I can use it for my own content creation purposes. The ease of use and simplicity is important, so it is necessary to finish integrating the other speech engine services that I personally use. And it will also be necessary to finalize the placeholder sound effects in the text functionality, as well as a little bit more of a user-friendly means to organize the section cards.
Upon completing those two features, the program is sufficient for my own use for the creative content that I create. But if I'm going to continue to proceed to develop this app for other people to use, I should be able to get the front end hosted on some serverless platforms such as Vercel or Fleek, and then to initialize and smooth out the functionality of using different storage services or possibly different services for the back-end compute power. The built-in back-end Python program I can give users the option to leverage if they are more technical and wish to actually download the code itself. Perhaps they want to use the Python server as a remote server. Or perhaps they want to use different storage, databases, and compute services. I intend to leave that functionality as an option. But if I were to proceed to put this project behind a paywall, I would first ensure that the code can be downloaded and operated in demo mode without a paywall. And then the public paywall service itself will need incorporate various paid API services, which I can organize and make easier for the end user. But keep in mind, I'm not focusing on trying to make a profit out of this. This is a tool that will go hand in hand with the main project that I am working on, the Crystal Cloud, Bambi Cloud, and Glam Cloud podcasts, which is a much larger endeavor and focuses much more on mental health and spiritual disciplines, and engaged metaverse creative storytelling and roleplay entertainment. This app will naturally integrate itself on the platform webpage when the time is right. But for my community, I could indeed share an early release of this tool if any of them have their own creative inspirations they wish to build upon.